300 yards rushing, and McCord had 400 yards passing. Wild.
Syracuse won the toss, deferred to getting the football in the second half. So we will get a look right from the get-go at it of the 2,000 yards passing. 12 touchdowns.
Alabama, he recruited him there, so it just made sense that he wasn't playing much. So let's hit the portal and get him over. He's a really, really good, prolific passer.
They have two outstanding wide receivers, and they're going to come out throwing the football right from the start. Defended well. Catches made for a short gain to Zeke Moore. Our impact players brought to you by Old Spice.
Yeah, Reed Harris, big target receiver. Had over 100 yards last week. And Turbo Richards, man, he is just absolutely dynamite. You saw Wes mention him. And defensively, the BC transfer, George Rooks. And I love this kid, Demetrius Samuel.
Yeah.
He is a stud, 17 years old, freshman cornerback. He's a dynamite player.
Yeah, he is the second youngest player in the FBS. First carry 4. I mean, can there be a better name for a running back than Turbo Richard?
I mean, we have a lot of cool names in the ACC. We got Hollywood Smothers.
Oh, yeah.
Karate.
That's right.
We have a bunch of names.
Those were the numbers for Richard against Georgia Tech. That was a wild one, man. 36-34, Georgia Tech knocked off Boston College. At Harris went for 142 receiving yards. Bond had 106. And coming up just short. So now on a 3rd down and 4. Catches made, and that is good enough for a first down. And who else but Lewis Bond, his 81st reception of the year. And that is second most in the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Yeah, just a nice sit down right for Lewis Bond. Syracuse brought the pressure, and Lonergan was able to throw an accurate pass off his back foot. So they wanted to go fast here, but Lewis Bond subbed out, so they had to wait for Syracuse to sub as well.
And after all that, it's a encroachment, I believe, against Syracuse here.
Offside. Defense, number 30. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
So Bill O'Brien would like to start every series 1st and 5. Who wouldn't?
That would be outstanding.
But not for the defense.
Yeah, but these are the things that Syracuse cannot do. You cannot give them extra yardage. This is a really good offense, despite the record of the team. They're still able to put up a lot of yards on the air and the ground.
Yeah, they're one of the best passing offenses in all of college football. Short pickup by Turbo Richards.
Yeah, the top 30 in passing, and that's pretty cool to say when you have using 2 quarterbacks. You know, a couple of games, Lonergan was starting. You had Grayson James come in and still was able to, even though both quarterbacks present different things, Grayson's a little more dynamic with his legs. And the reason Dylan Lonergan won the starting job is because of his ability to put the football in the air.
I mean, he started the season on fire, did Lonergan. Threw 9 touchdowns. There's a first down pickup. Once more by Richard. But the first 3 games of the year, he threw 9 touchdowns, 1 interception. But then over the next 4 against Stanford, Cal, Pitt, and Clemson, threw 3 picks. They sat him down, started Grayson James for 3, then brought back Lonergan 2 weeks ago against SMU, and then he had 362 passing yards in that loss to Georgia Tech. Nice drive to begin this game. And dropped for a loss is Richard. Iandoro on the tackle, getting playing time for the first time really today. He's not played a great deal this season, and that's one thing.
The gap.
Yeah.
That was so lame. Scooter's just mad because I have hair. That's all it is.
Boy, now you take a shot at him, but you got me with the same bullet there. Grayson James has come in to play quarterback.
Offense lined up in the neutral zone. Number 88. of the offense. 5-yard penalty.
You know, they spent the timeout, which makes you wonder, did they put James in there to maybe just change it up a little bit? Or was Lonergan injured?
Yeah, that's interesting. That has to be if they took the timeout so early and then bring in Grayson.
James, a transfer senior. He is from Lake Highlands, Texas. He took over for Tommy Castellanos very early on last season, led the team to a bowl game. Nearly breaking that one for a big one was Turbo Richard, and he has been very busy to start this afternoon.
Never complaining and just going in leading this team.
Yeah, the coaches could not talk enough about his leadership. 3rd down, and he's in trouble. Able to get it away. It's incomplete. So on a 3rd down and 8, after a good drive, the opening drive of this game, the Orange come up with a stop.
Yeah, now this is what Grayson does. He's able to find a way to get himself out of trouble, but Syracuse defense was all over him. He couldn't really put any strength in that throw, but we saw Lonergan walking out. He had his thumb in an ice cup on his throwing hand.
Yep, throwing right hand. Demetrius Samuel Jr. Boy, what a freshman year he has had. And a fair catch right at the 11-yard line. Start the season off right. Get game day ready. Scan the QR code on your television. And pretty much Fran Brown's team's season came to an end. They're going with Joe Filardi, who is a freshman. He walked on the football team. You know, a lot of people out there are under the belief that Filardi came here just walk-on, preferred walk-on, for the football team. So he fully intended all along. It wasn't like they just scooped somebody up off their powerhouse lacrosse team to be the quarterback.
Speaking of quarterback,
yeah,
former quarterback
Dan Villari playing in his final game today, tripped up. And our impact players brought to you by Old Spice.
Ray Jackson's back healthy, so now you're going to see Carter, Omar, and KP Price on the field at the same time. So Coach Tim Lewis, the D coordinator, does a lot. Different personnels, different blitzes and schemes.
All right, let's see what Filardi has on a 3rd down and 8. You may remember the game last week against Notre Dame.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
3rd and 8 now becomes 3rd and 13. But
kept getting more and more out of hand.
Yeah, that was one of the most deflating losses in Syracuse football history. Completion goes to Duante Bakayai, and it's going to be 3 and out for the Orange. We talk about all these young players Syracuse has had to play this season. 3rd in the nation, 1st in the ACC, with 22 players who have made their first career starts this year. 44 different players have started at least one game.
Yeah, that's incredible. The only positive you can really take from that.
Well, they almost got that.
There.
Yeah, and it's going to be running into the kicker. I mean to tell you, Jack Stonehouse took a big-time shot right there.
He looked like Bo McCormick, freshman running back, rushing there.
Of course, the thing they have to make sure of was the ball touched. If it was touched, then they pick up the flag. So we are patiently waiting.
There is no foul on the play. The ball was tipped.
There you go. So the ball was tipped. They pick up the flag. Great field position for the Eagles when we come back in a scoreless game.
School football history. Funny thing about him, he was originally committed to Syracuse, and BC ended up flipping him late.
James able to escape trouble and able to get it away for a pretty nice little gain to the tight end, Jeremiah Franklin. Franklin's had a great year. In fact, we have 2 really good tight ends, 3 of them. Look at those numbers for Franklin.
Yeah, Franklin, he's done an outstanding job, has been his entire career here. This type of offense, pro-style offense, you're going to see more 12 personnel. Not only are they good receivers, both tight ends can block very well, too.
Turbo Richard, and he is mauled right at the line of scrimmage by the former Eagle, George Rooks.
George's father, George Sr., former Syracuse Orange himself.
Yep.
His sister, Taylor, not Taylor Rooks the reporter, but Taylor Rooks basketball, 2-time Gatorade Player of the Year in Jersey, played basketball in Michigan. So a talented family right there.
Yeah, his dad was a great star here. Former Big East Defensive Player of the Year. Jordan McDonald checks into the backfield for the first time on this 3rd and 6. Good protection, and this guy can run, and he's able to just flip it out there. And the catch is made by Bond, and that'll be enough for a first down, close to the 20-yard line. Well, he can really move around.
Yeah, this is the part of Grayson James' game. He does a good job after the snap, improvising, looking downfield, finding his receivers. He finds Lewis Bond, who's had a great connection with the past couple of years, and hit a yard going turbo. Quick, back on line of scrimmage.
McDonald still in there, and he'll touch it for the first time. And well played defensively as he tried to turn the corner by Anwar Sparrow, redshirt senior out of Virginia Beach, Virginia. His 51st career game for Sparrow today. Penalty flag down on the play.
Personal foul, face mask, defense. The penalty we enforced, half the distance to the goal, an automatic first down.
Yeah, you can see it up top instantly. Yep. Yeah, I mean, clear as day.
Try to let it go. Speaking
of Jordan McDonald, last year this was his coming out party versus Syracuse. Ran for over 130 yards and really didn't play at all. I mean, he played a little bit, really didn't touch the football all season until that game, and that's what really put him in the rotation full time. Partner duo, him and Kai Robichaud running for over 300 yards last year.
And that was against a Syracuse team that won 10 games last year. Only lost 3 times, and one of them to these Eagles. McDonald spent his first couple of years in UCF, and then last year at Boston College ran for over 350 yards in a backup role. One of the good guys in all the sports right there, man. You know, you worked for him.
I did, and just going back to what he did at Penn State alone, I mean, that right there was a miracle. So for him to deal with adversity here, he'll be just fine.
Of course, many years he was both the head coach and the general manager of the Houston Texans. And this time, Umo Pariola able to drag down the quarterback. That'll be a loss on the play.
Yeah, Grayson was getting out of that grip. Once you get the quarterback, he locked his hands in. He's like, no way, you're not getting anywhere. Outstanding job.
So this is a 3rd and goal.
Yeah, this is the strength of this Syracuse defense. They have a veteran defensive line and able to make plays there. So this is a big 3rd down for BC. Jordan Reed Harris is there in the slot.
Yeah, both those guys, Harris and Bond. And there's another timeout as Boston College just can't get it together. Already burning its 2nd. 12 teams in the Atlantic Coast Conference that are bowl eligible. So while it may not have the quote-unquote super team or teams, it is a very solid competitive football conference. All right, 3rd down and goal. Into the end zone and knocked away. He had an eye in the corner. for Reed Harris. And on the coverage, outstanding coverage by the sophomore Chris Spiel.
Yeah, that's the matchup you want right there. But Chris Spiel's been playing phenomenal all year long. He's the highest rated or graded defender on this defense as part of this young secondary that's been playing strong all season long. So awesome job right there by Chris Spiel. But Reed knows he has to get that football. That right there for him is a alley-oop.
Luca Lombardo bangs it through. He is one of only 3 kickers perfect this year in the FBS. A barrel and a foot of snow around here.
Was I ever? I brought the wrong shoes and everything. I should know better.
Yeah, you played in Green Bay in the NFL long enough. You definitely should know better. Davion Kerr going to bring it out. And excellent special teams kickoff coverage here by Boston College. Coming up Tuesday, Fight Night on NXT. Rising stars of WWE Throwdown. Matchups you can't miss, action intensity. The next generation of stars coming your way every Tuesday right here on the CW. And Wesley, Bryan, I know you'll be dialed into that.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. And I just saw Trick Williams got engaged to Lash Legend. So a little bit of love in the air in NXT as well.
Love West with the NXT takes.
Yeah, I mean, that's big time right there. Ooh, big hit. And I tell you what, you know, whether they've lost 10 in a row or not, KP Bryce, you helped coach him last year at Boston College. He will come down and hit you now.
That's the one thing about KP. Yeah, he had great experience last year playing young and coming in here instantly being the leader. And he's been constant all the year, leading the team in tackles all over the field. But for Syracuse, that was a great play. They had both tackles and guards on the edge, gaining some yards. So that was a great first down play right there to have a second and manageable.
And they're going to keep Villari in there from time to time. He was a high school quarterback. And a big gainer here. Will Nixon crossing midfield. He's in a starring role today in the orange backfield. Yasin Willis is out in concussion protocol.
Again, similar play. This time the receiver came across and they pulled the tight end. And again, they found something on that side of the football where they were able to attack again. Got 8 yards on the first play and a big gain on that second play right there. So right now, Syracuse offensively, they got some action.
Villari is out of Massapequa, New York, not too far away from here. And he has just had a great career. He's going to keep it himself. And look at that bulldozer to the 40. That'll be a gain of 8. A lot of people believe he's going to be playing tight end on Sundays this time next year.
Yeah, well, he's showing his versatility right here. And, it's great to have him as a former quarterback because he knows how to handle that position. Right there, another great gain by the Syracuse offense.
Will Nixon back into the backfield, and Villari says, hey, you put me back here, man. You're putting me back here for a reason. That's to run the football. And he has a first down inside the 35-yard line.
I love this. Coach Jeff Nixon, he's playing smart football. Look, this is working. Why go back and call plays just to call plays? Like, if we have something that's successful, let's keep rocking. And so far, they already flipped the fields, running the Wildcat.
And Boston College gives up nearly 180 rushing yards per game. So why not run it? Looks like they're going to go back now to Velarde at quarterback. Not much running room that time. A little pushing and shoving going on after the play. Nixon carries close to the 30-yard line.
Yeah, a big part of the troubles for this Boston College defense to stop the run is really being able to set the edge and box it back into your linebackers or whoever's coming into the middle. And right now, Syracuse is finding a way to attack the edge, gaining some success right there. They always say, no edge, no chance.
Already 47 rushing yards for the Orange. And thought about it. Quarterback decides to keep it himself, and he takes a massive hit. Mercy.
I'll tell you what, if if you are running and Omar Thornton is in the area, proceed with caution. Proceed with caution. He has four forced fumbles this year.
Yep.
A couple knockouts, which that's not a stat that's kept. He is an absolute beast.
That will be the final play of the quarter, and I think Filardi wobbling over to that sideline after that hit. All right, first. And they just unveiled, in fact, on this third down run. And that's not going anywhere. And we'll show you an unveiling commemorating that number 44 in Syracuse history coming up with Wes in just a little bit.
I played against good running backs here. Damian Rhodes is one of them, and Walter Reyes. Outstanding job. Speaking of two-way players, Diamond Ferry lit us up one year. He had like 140 yards rushing. He had a pick six. I don't know why I'm talking about that. It makes me sick.
48-yard field goal try by Trip Woody. And that one is hammered. He's had a good year for Syracuse. Really good year. He's only missed 2 field goal tries all year. So that'll tie things up at 3 apiece. Let's go downstairs. Wesley?
Yeah, Syracuse unveiled a prominent exhibit on Friday in the JMA Wild.
Yeah, that was an excellent drive for Syracuse right there to get down the field and get some points. Really was able to do it mostly on the ground.
Yeah, you look inside some of the numbers. Syracuse has a total of 3 yards passing, but 55 on the ground. And also want to check in with Wes and get an update here in a second on Lonergan. Dylan Lonergan, the starting quarterback for Boston College, on that opening drive had to leave the game. We saw him walk back into the locker room with his thumb inside on some ice or some cold water.
Yeah.
And Wes, what's the latest on him?
Yeah, Dylan Lonergan, starting quarterback for Boston College. He has a finger injury. He is questionable to return.
Yeah, it looks like he's standing on that sideline for the time being, doesn't it? Yep.
Yeah, quarterbacks need their fingers, that's for sure.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. Probably went back there, got a little medicine. Come back out there and be available.
Yeah, that's a tricky part for a quarterback. If you injure your hand or your fingers, it's not like they could just say a defensive players. They could, you know, shoot them up with something. And, you know, I'm not talking about a serious injury here, but something you can continue to play by numbing the pain a little bit. Problem is, if you numb the quarterback's throwing hand, and that's the injury to his throwing hand, then he, of course, can't feel the football.
Yeah, I mean, it was his thumb that he had in the ice cup, and for sure, a quarterback, they need their thumb. I had a situation where I actually fractured my thumb, but, you know, I had to put a cast on it, but I didn't need it. But you can see him there, had his thumb protecting it in an ice cup there.
Lakai Dodd getting his first carry a moment ago. And the reception is made by Dodd up to the 30-yard line. So it'll bring up 3rd down and 5 for Boston College in his 3-3 game. It's only fitting. One team's lost 7 straight, the other's lost 10 straight, and they're tied.
Yeah, right now Syracuse is doing an awesome job tackling, not allowing any yards after catch.
Before the snap, Syracuse calls timeout. It'll be 30 seconds.
That'll be the first taken this half by the Orange. We'll take York. A 3rd down and 4 for the Boston College Eagles. From their own 31-yard line. Need to get to the 35 to cash in. And lofted, incomplete. With an eye on Turbo Richard. You know, every time I see that name on the field, or an 82 draft, was traded to Cleveland and was diagnosed with leukemia. And he died at 23 years young. All right, well, Hoops will take center stage on the CW next week, courtside. That's a different look, isn't it? And they're going to hand it off to Kerr. He has a twin brother, of course, that plays on the defensive side of the football. That's just the 6th rushing attempt of the year for Davion Kerr.
Yeah, Coach Nixon right now, he's emptying the playbook. We'll look at every formation. We are going to win this game. That is his mindset. They have the old swinging gate out there, just a wide formation. Again, just run a nice counter to the opposite side.
And they have Villari again in the shotgun. The quarterback Filardi split out to the right. And a little RPO, and that didn't fool anybody on the BC side.
I'll tell you what, pads are clicking right now. That's like we can hear Wade up here in the box.
They've done a great job with this building. I mean, they renovated it a couple of years ago.
Well, I think of Syracuse growing up, you think of the really good football teams. You think of the excellent basketball teams. Like Syracuse does an awesome job overall. Has historically for sports.
Velarde powers his way to a first down. Well, right now, he's the best player on the field.
Yeah, this is what you do. You take full advantage, as we see in the cam, of the issues that BC has, and that's the run game. No need to put the football in the air. Let's just go ahead and use what we can and take advantage of a defense, as you mentioned, has given up 8 100-yard rushing games.
Will Nixon in the backfield. Good running room. And that'll be a gain of close to 9. About a yard short of another first down.
Yeah, continue to run this football. Coach Nixon, former running back coach in the NFL, he is, trust me, this is something that he wants to do. Run the football. You see his son right there, Will, with the football, carrying it.
Going to get it again, and he will pick up the first down to the Boston College 45-yard line. It's got to be a whole different world calling plays this year for Jeff Nixon. Really within a year. A year ago, you talked about Kyle McCord. The Ohio State transfer was so great here last year. He set 24 school passing single season records. And then they start off this year when they had the transfer from Notre Dame, Steve Angeli, and it looked like it was going to be a repeat of last season. But then all of a sudden, he gets injured, tearing his Achilles tendon in the win over Clemson that put him at 3-1. And then they went to a bunch of guys either with no experience or minuscule experience, and now rarely ever throw it effectively anymore.
Yeah, that's why I continue to go on record and say the second most important position is the backup quarterback. Because if the quarterback goes down, then the whole ship may go down.
I mean, look at those numbers compared to this time a year ago.
Yeah, like that right there is unbelievable.
Yeah, double the amount of touchdown passes. They're going to pitch it once more to Nixon. And he's able to lunge forward for a couple of yards. It'll bring up 3rd down and 2. 8:27 to go until halftime, and we're tied at 3. Season finale for everybody around college football. Regular season finale, and some of the conference championship games beginning to come into focus in and around the country. We'll talk more about those later. In the ACC, if you weren't with us, if Virginia wins, they play in Charlotte. If SMU wins its game, for a second straight year, the Mustangs will play for an ACC championship. And that'll be another first down run out of the shotgun by the tight end turned quarterback, Dan Villari.
I'll say this style is definitely working in Syracuse's favor, and also the fact that they are struggling to find a quarterback, because last year they leaned heavily on McCord, and I remember last year against Boston College, he threw for 400 yards, yet they still lost the game because it was more finesse. And now they're bringing the physicality to Boston College and just taking their time with them, driving it down the field. You see right here, already 93 yards on the ground. They're averaging 117 in the year.
Well, it's one of those games where, you know, you're just trying to win, and you do whatever you can just to win a game. And both of these teams, and Will, you've been on some great teams, you've been on some not so great teams. You won a Super Bowl in the NFL, you played on some other teams. Jacksonville, where it was rough sledding, man, and you know, one team's lost 7 straight, the other in this one's lost 10 straight.
Yeah, in Jacksonville, my first year in 2013, we lost our first 8 games. We started off 0-8, and so a lot of long days in the building, but the constant was our head coach, and Gus Bradley. He always brought the energy. He always kept the morale strong, and you see what both coaches, Fran Brown is like not shying away. He keeps leading. Coach Bill O'Brien, the same thing. Like he said, we're not down. We're still competing and battling. And you can see it in both teams. No quitting them.
Reshuffled offensive line. That's an easy throw and catch, and able to spin his way is Jonte Cook. He's had a good year, 42 receptions, team leader in both receptions and receiving yards, and that's having a good year on a team that doesn't throw it.
Correct. Wes, what do you got on Cook for us?
Yeah, Cook and Gill, their top 2 receivers. Both of these guys among the leaders on the squad in catches and yards. And Gill confirmed that he does plan to return to Syracuse, while Jonte Cook has remained non-committal on if he will return or not.
And of course, that transfer portal opens up here in a couple of weeks, and you know, so much. As Valari is chopped down, a flag came in late. This might come back. But, you know,
Holding, offense number 15, 10-yard penalty.
I got the wide receiver, the aforementioned, who's coming back, Darrell Gill Jr. But, you know, whether it's coaches having to make decisions, and the one, of course, who is most front and center is Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, you can see it right here. I mean, he just gets his arms outside. I mean, I think that's a good block. Sometimes the referee is judgmental, so you get your arms out the frame, they might call it. I thought that was a great block by Cook right there.
Yeah, by Gill, yeah.
By Gill.
Yep. And Fran didn't like it. He's with you.
It's like, run the replay so we can see it. It's hard to stalk block. You're standing there as a receiver, and the defensive back is taking a full speed charge at you, so it's a tough block.
Velarde checks back in at quarterback, and he's going to run it. And an excellent run to the 15-yard line. So he got a big chunk of that back.
Yeah, again, is able to keep the ball on that dive. RPO action, gets up the field.
Well, look, we know football players are the ultimate tough guys, but not too far behind them are lacrosse players. Those guys take a beating and beat each other to death. So you know that Velarde is a tough dude, especially as a defenseman. And he'll be playing lacrosse for the Orange this spring. RPO again. And that one is bottled up. Maribel Jr., the first one there, transfer from Wake Forest.
Well, you just see how strong Velarde, because even when Maribel went to fit up, he was trying to hold on for dear life. I mean, that's a big.
Who was the guy that dragged you? Come on, one guy. You remember wrapping up somebody and they just took you for a ride? Anybody stand up?
I might have to get back to you on that.
All right, think about it. I'm sure it never happened. I don't even know why.
I definitely. I played long enough where it has happened, but you see Velarde there. Right now, as you mentioned, the star of the game.
Yeah, he's having an outstanding game, and this is his final game. And now they're going to throw it to him. And he'll be denied first down yardage. I think they stood him up right at the 10. So, unless Fran Brown's going to go for it, and he's not. Out comes the field goal unit as he is stopped. Now they're still not spotting the ball. Now they do, just inside the 11. So here comes Woody.
Yeah, this drive has been over 9 minutes long. feel like I haven't seen BC on offense in a long time.
Yeah. 29-yard field goal try for Woody. Told you he's only missed twice in 13 attempts, and that still holds true. And that boot after a rock.
Dylan Lonergan, quarterback, had apparent thumb injury. You can see right there hitting it as he's throwing on his throwing hand. And then just, you know, the kicker's holding it down for both teams. So now we have a fun game, especially on the ground. The ground game's been really tough for both teams.
TJ Green will watch it sail into the end zone. 3:05 to go until halftime. 6-3 Syracuse in front. All right, fellas, look forward to checking with you at halftime. And again, for those just joining us, we're not exactly sure how or when it occurred, but on that opening possession of the game for Boston College, their quarterback injured his thumb. And there's pretty much a Hail Mary, and he'll draw a flag. Samuel was back there, and I think he's the one they'll get for what will be a 15-yard penalty.
Pass interference, defense, number 1.
Yep.
15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Yeah, BC decided to go with the DNA matchup. Big Reed Harris, take a shot there, and you can see Demetrius just panicked just a little bit. You can see him pulling him down right there. That was kind of the deal he dealt with earlier, especially that Tennessee game. They really took advantage of him being young and inexperienced down the field. And just as we continue to go on the season, his targets got less and less just because he started playing better. So they're trying to take advantage of the young man right there.
Well, if there is one area of this team that they very much have positive feelings about moving forward, it's that cornerback room, because they've had to play the young guys, not only Samuel Jr., but Davian Kerr is only a sophomore. Talked about Chris Peel. You talked about how well he has played. He is only a redshirt sophomore. So that group, yeah, you'll take your lumps at times during this season, but they've gotten better as the year has gone on.
Well, it helps too. They work with Coach Fran Brown. That's a big deal for them as well. You work with the man directly, but as you mentioned, they have been just competing for this team.
Throw right on the money and caught by Lewis Bond, the Chicago native, for a first down. Well, his last 3 games, he's gone 92 receiving yards against Notre Dame, 94 against SMU.
Yeah, just a nice sudden move right there in the slot to get to the out.
And then Bond went for 106 yards in the loss to Georgia Tech. Stay tuned. The final 2 minutes of the half presented by the Wells Fargo Active Cash.
2%er earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases. Terms apply.
Nice. All right, 2 minutes to go here in this opening half. 6-3 Syracuse in front, but BC on the move at the orange 39-yard line, a 1st and 10.
Yeah, it's Lewis Bond time. You got to work him in the slot. Oh, we already got movement.
False start, offense, number 77. It's a 5-yard penalty. It's still first down.
That's their left tackle, who just came back from a concussion, Jude Bowery, captain, 2-year starter.
Yeah, can't take a loss in the situation. You only have 1 timeout, and you want to try to get down the field as quick as possible. So now you have to change the play and try to get a chunk play here to at least get in the fringe, which is the area between the 40 and the 30-yard line.
Throw over the middle, and the catch is made by Reed Harris. Very short gain. Did they say 77? I beg your pardon on that penalty. So I beg your pardon. That's Michael Crouch who got the penalty. So catch the gripping final chapter Wednesday, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, right here on the CW. Stream the whole season free on the CW app. The timeout was taken by Syracuse. So each team with 1 left and 1:50 until halftime. For those just joining us, on the opening drive of the game, showed you the replay a little while ago. Dylan Lonergan injuring his right thumb and went back into the locker room for a short time. Has been on the sideline ever since, but not come back into the game. Set up a screen the other way to Richard, and that is played perfectly on defense. Boy, what a great job that was by Jobity.
Yeah, just a wonderful job staying square, working down a line of scrimmage. Yeah, you can see him to the left side of the screen, staying square, fight off the block, and get in there, because that could have been a big play right there. So phenomenal job.
Okay, 3rd down and 9 for BC.
Yeah, we haven't heard Kalen Chinzinski at all this game. You can look for something with him across the middle.
Yeah, he wears number 85. He's in the slot, bottom of your screen. And instead, they're able to convert on the connection to Harris. He's inside the 20, close to the 15, and a 1st down for the Eagles.
Yeah, here's the came here, and you can see Grayson James reading. They run a dagger concept, which is down the field running a go route. It's Chinzinski, and then you can see Reed Harris coming across running a dig route, which is a 10-yard in.
Turbo Richard gets inside the 15-yard line. Clock continuing to run. 1:07 until halftime. Bill O'Brien's team trying to recapture the lead here. Those are the numbers on James, who's taken over for Dylan Lonergan. James has started 3 games this year, so after starting 5 a year ago, this is nothing new for him. Defended beautifully. That was the guy we were talking about earlier, Samuel Jr.
Yeah, I'm just excited about Samuel Jr. I think just with his ability, what he has shown this year, number one, he's just fearless. Kid from Florida. I think with him, his upside, he could eventually be the best defensive back in this conference when he's in a year or two. He's that talented. Running 10.5. He's someone who could be a two-way player. You mentioned me being Travis Hunter before Travis Hunter. He could eventually play offense as well, too. So he's just a dynamic player for this team.
All right, 3rd down and 6. Down to the final 34 seconds, and it's incomplete. Looking for Lewis Bond, but that was thrown into double coverage, so out comes the field goal unit again.
Yeah, you can see possibly those timeouts coming in handy for Syracuse, able to get a stop and having them kick a field goal.
So we're talking about 100%, not only on field goals for Luca Lombardo, but also PATs. And right down the middle, he's 2 for 2 today. 16 of 16 on the year and 31 of 31 on PATs. Not a bad year for Luca Lombardo. So a 6-6 game in the final 28 ticks of the half. The fastest growing cable network in all of television is News Nation. News Nation respects all Americans and is news for all Americans. Go to newsnationnow.com.
Yeah, and that's good to see Luca having some success. Last year he was injured. He had a soft tissue injury in his leg and wasn't able to be at his best. He's a strong former soccer player, and he's probably one of the fittest guys on the team. He loves the weight room, so really good for him. Really cool for him to see him having great success this season.
Young man who's only a redshirt junior out of Westport, Connecticut. I don't know if that's what Bill O'Brien had in mind there, because you give the opponent the ball at the 35-yard line. I mean, you want to. He's wondering what's going on.
Kicking team. The ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. 1st down.
Boy, he is hot.
You can see Bill going to Coach Matt Turn, the special team coach, asking him, "What was that? Like, what are we doing?" That was definitely the PG. What was that? Was the PG version for sure. I've been around, and it's not too PG when things don't go right over there.
No. Well, apparently it doesn't matter. They're just going to take a knee, and the crowd's kind of surprised. Quite honestly, I am too. Oh, wait a minute. You never know what you're going to get. Thought they'd catch him napping. Malachi Coleman getting his 9th carry of the season, playing in just his 4th game of the year, a true freshman out of Roanoke, Virginia. And that will be the final play, we think.
Yeah, you don't know what else they got up their sleeve with these plays.
Yep, that's it. Took the headset off. All right. So BC trying to snap a 10-game lead. All righty, Wes Bryant, thank you. And Syracuse won the toss, deferred to getting the football to begin the second half, so that they will do. And this will start at the 25-yard line.
All right, it'll be interesting. So far, using every weapon available.
Yeah, Nixon, their leading rusher, 9 carries, 60 yards with a long of 28. Valari had 7 carries for 35 yards, and he opens in the Wildcat on first down. Going to hand it off, and that did not fool anybody. Gave it to Darian Williams, and making the play in the backfield, Ela Boykin.
Yeah, just a great stop right there. Not only making the tackle, but knocking him backwards.
This young man who transferred in from Barton College, they weren't sure what to expect from him. He's out of Mount Olive, North Carolina, and he's played well, played in every game in his first season at BC. Made a couple nice plays, in fact, here today. Loss of 5, so a second down and 15. And that's up to the 23-yard line. The catch out of the backfield by Nixon brings up 3rd and long.
Yeah, Charlie Carmelo, number 32 for Boston College, comes down and sets the edge and allows Omar Thornton to come off and cap off, stopping that play.
Well, this will be interesting here because Boston College has been very reluctant today to put the ball in the air down the field after what happened with Filardi. 2 of the first 3 possessions last week against Notre Dame. He's really not chucked one down the field yet in this game. They had a big gainer on a catch, and not going to do it here. Just a little wide receiver screen and nothing there. So 3 and out to begin the second half.
Yeah, as you mentioned, right, they have not really.
Redshirt freshman out of Wesley, Massachusetts. Stands back awaiting the punt from Stonehouse. And a favorable bounce for the Syracuse punter, down just outside the 20.
Fun crew.
Really is. We've really enjoyed it. And of course, you know, we're together each and every week. And there's one down the field. The catch made by Bond. Cuts it back to the inside, back to the outside. And he's all the way inside the 25-yard line.
Mr. Bond just comes across the middle, runs a nice over route, and finds the area. That's a gift that Louis Bonds has. He's always able to find that soft spot in the zones with his tempo runs and his pace.
54-yard completion, and on first down, James going to keep it himself. And it looks like he's very close to another first down, maybe about a couple of inches short.
Yeah, he reads the end, pulls it, gets some yards for 2nd and 1, manageable 2nd down.
And breaking it into the end zone untouched is Turbo Richard. So the first touchdown for either team today comes on the first offensive possession of this second half for the Boston College Eagles. 20-yard touchdown run.
That's how you get down the field, explosive plays, and they give it to your running back. We mentioned earlier what all of the first-time starters and young players they have to play. That's why it was smart to go tempo, messing up the communication with the young players. So awesome job there with Coach Lawing, speeding up this process.
Point after by Lombardo is good. So how about the start of this second half? hit a 54-yard completion, get a 9-yard run, capped off by a 20-yard touchdown scamper from Richard.
Yeah, great patience right there by Turbo. He's able to just wait until
it's Georgia Tech had 11 rushes for 141 yards and a couple of touchdowns. And you talked about hitting a home run. He had a 43-yarder in that game. Out to the 25. Well, coming up next, we head out west for a Pac-12 rivalry. Oregon State, Washington State. Back end of our double dip coming up next, only on the CW. Of course, those two teams next year will launch the new Pac-12.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 28 of the defense, number 22 of the receiving team. That's their first of the game. The penalty yards cancel, first down.
Moultrie Goddard and coach wondering what's going on here. Right there, those two at the 25-yard line, locked up.
A little winter dance there.
Zachary Thomas. All right, so second possession of this second half. And another solid run. Turned in by the quarterback, Filardi. Good enough for a first down.
Again, Coach Nixon just mixing it up, right? Giving the football to many different ball carriers.
And now they're going to put Filardi back in shotgun. And Filardi at the bottom of your screen is a wide receiver. Quarterback keeper, and he is chopped down just short of the 40-yard line.
Yeah, KP Price learned his lesson last time. He tried to go up high. Keep hitting that tight end up high. It's going to be painful, so he knows to, hey, let me go ahead and chop down right there from the ump cam. Look at that. Playing safety myself, I would hit guys up high, and I was like, you know what? If I want to play this game a long time, I got to start going to the legs.
Oh, the ball is on the ground, and who got it? It looked like Filardi was going to get it initially. And it looks like T.R. Mack, left tackle, was able to go get it.
I feel like everyone panicked when they saw Omar coming off the edge. He didn't know whether to keep it or give it. He didn't. It looked like Nixon didn't know. Nixon didn't know either. Yeah, Omar Thornton timed that blitz up perfect. Just ruined the whole play just with his presence.
So to bring up third down and 12, and incomplete. Try to lay it off on Jonte Cook, and Syracuse will punt again. There is a flag down. Didn't see it come in.
Yeah, you can see the left side of your screen. He just comes scot-free, KP Price, and misses. We have multiple flags here on the field.
Well, I think it's going to be an illegal block because the ball was not thrown yet, and the Syracuse wide receiver threw a vicious block on a BC defender.
Pass interference,
Yep.
Offense number 89. Penalties decline. It's fourth down.
Yeah, you can see right there, crack block right there.
Yep.
You got two guys blocking downfield. That one is probably more of a pick as they want to look, and the other one was actually, there was a guy blocking down the field, so correct call.
What a season Stonehouse has had. Transferred in from Missouri. And you know, his coach, Fran Brown, believes he's the best punter in the country. Low line drive returnable for Carmella, but excellent coverage down there. And Camella's wrapped up and dropped in his tracks. BC with the ball and a 7-point lead. Charge. And our director Lonnie Dale, our producer Scott Snyder, our entire crew, we thank Rob Reichley, Jason Wormser, and a lot of folks who, join us locally each and every stop along the way. They work very, very hard up here in the booth or out in the field, back in the truck. And there is Bond again. He had a 54-yarder a minute ago. And another big reception here to the 21-yard line.
That's a heck of a throw by Grayson James.
37-yard pickup.
First and foremost, he had all day to throw that football. Able to sit and set his feet and find that read.
Jordan McDonald is checked into the backfield, replacing Turbo Richard, who had a 20-yard touchdown run, and now Syracuse has to spend another timeout. Boy, there has been
guy, and right now the secondary is getting attacked. Lewis Bond already over 100 yards receiving.
And look, Fran Brown knows his team does not throw the ball, and you fall behind 2 touchdowns, you could be in a load of trouble. James is wrapped up, got the ball away, juggled and nearly intercepted. Is that a live ball? I don't think so. We'll see where that ball was thrown. It looked like a forward pass from here. They're saying incomplete.
It's an incomplete forward pass. Second out.
Now we'll double check just to make sure, because they'll be looking at it back in Charlotte. Oh yeah, it's forward pass. Or is it?
It was a forward pass that went backwards.
Yeah.
Also wonder if he was down as well.
Well, they're good.
Yes, Mr. Dennis Jarhead Jr. That's what I assumed. Just when the way his body was leaning backwards, I assumed his knee was possibly down. So let's line up again.
All right, so it's a loss of 2, so second down and 12. And Richard is chopped down inside the 25, down to the 22-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 9. And of course, if you're Syracuse right now, I mean, look, obviously you don't want to fall behind. We noted it a moment ago, 2 touchdowns. If you're Syracuse, best case scenario, you force a field goal, and you're asking a kicker who had missed a kick all year to finally miss one to keep it within 7.
Yeah, I guess up top, you have all your best players right there. I expect some kind of concept, trying to find a one-on-one matchup.
Well, I am amazed at the confusion out here. That's a senior quarterback who's been around.
Open all over the field. 7 targets, but 6 catches, 145 yards. Him and Grayson James doing an awesome job. He is Bond. Lewis Bond.
Oh, thank you. You took the words right out of my mouth. Man, we're like an old married couple after a year.
You are my guy.
Oh, no doubt about it. Well, I don't know. You're what's his name's guy. There's a throw to the end zone and batted away. Excellent coverage back there. Really good coverage.
These young DBs on Syracuse, I'm telling you. Strap city for these guys. Whoever that is a play, Reed has to go vertical and get that. But I tell you what, Peel with the play. That's how you play the football. Getting his arm through at the last second and not having a penalty.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I'm telling you, I love these 2 corners.
Yeah, that's a good group coming back. Peel, Kerr, Samuel Jr. All right, 40-yard field goal try. If you weren't with us in the first half, this guy's not missed all year long. And for the first time, one of just 3 kickers in college football perfect on the year. Combining field goals and point afters. He was 16 of 16 on field goals, 32 of 32 on PATs.
Yeah, and just pushes it just a little bit.
And that was a scenario that Fran Brown was hoping for, to stay within a touchdown, because with this challenged, vertically challenged offense that the Orange is sporting right now, falling behind 14 might have been a little much. They're going to stay with their tight end in the Wildcat, and Villari able to pick up 3 on first down.
Yeah, again, it'll be interesting to see how Coach Nix is going to find a way to somewhat stretch the field. I would like for them to get back attacking the edge. They had some great success running the football on the edges, where BC wasn't able to maintain.
Villari going to keep it again. That might have been a hold. It is a hold.
Holding. Offense number 84. 10-yard penalty. Replay second down.
It's Elijah Washington Baker. They've got some young players that are getting some playing time in this one. Season finale for both teams. Neither team going to a bowl game, but both trying to end long stretches of time since winning a game. BC has not won since the month of August. Man, that makes for a long September, October, November. Second down and 17. Easy completion there, but not much yardage. Darian Williams on the catch.
You're looking up top to see if Omar was offsides. Omar Thornton, he just timed it up perfect. Great tackle by Charlie Camara right there on that play. Even Boston College deploying, you're seeing using multiple defensive backs now. Ashley McShane's in there, Charlie Camella's in there. Marion Davis is back there at safety.
Third down and 12. And just throwing it out of bounds. Wisely so is Filardi. So for
and a stop touchdown to just keep it simple, 3 and out. You're not getting anything vertical, so you get to be aggressive. Coach Tim Lewis is calling a aggressive game where these defensive backs are just sitting.
Syracuse only 1 first down in this third quarter. Booming punt, backs up Cormella, and a fair catch at the 30-yard line with 5:11 to go in the third quarter. You know, we've had a chance to see just about every, absolutely he's on his list, is Tony Elliott. They won 3 games last year. There were a lot of people wondering if he was on the hot seat. And his team, if they win tonight, they're going to play for the Atlantic Coast Conference Championship, which Virginia has never won. They've never won an outright. Now, they've shared it, but they've never won an outright ACC title. In fact, the last time they even shared one was 30 years ago. So I'm going with Tony Elliott.
Yeah, I'm not mad if Tony got it. I think he deserves it as well. I just like the fact with Wake Forest.
Yes.
What they have done, what Coach Dickert has done in his first year coming to that program.
No doubt about it. I mean, took over for Dave Clawson, who had a real nice run there at Wake. And Dickert's going to win a pile of games in his coaching career. Still so young. First down carry by Richard, not much there. Bring up second down as we're under 4.5 to play in the third quarter. And Boston College with the ball in a 7-point lead. Well, we understand Louis Bond just went into the medical tent. So we'll have to see what happened with him. He's had a big game. 7 catches for a whopping 168 yards, including a 54-yarder. Looking down the field, and Did he catch the ball? No, but a flag is down. And again, Samuel just didn't find the ball, and by the time he turned around to find it,
pass interference.
He ran over Reed Harris.
Defense number 1, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Fortunately, these are just 15-yard penalties, but for Reed Harris, you would like him to go and actually get the football. And then these are good reps for Demetrius Samuel Jr. because he's going to learn, look, once you get somewhere near the end zone, you can actually turn around and look for the football.
I thought that was Nancy Pelosi for a minute.
No comment.
I mean, it looks like a little bit like her. She's a Syracuse. I don't know if Nancy Pelosi, being from California, is a Syracuse fan.
All right, so Boston College on this drive.
Here's a handoff, and trying to turn the corner is Turbo Richard, and unable to do so.
See Boston College going back with the tempo. Last time they were in the red zone, they went tempo, and it was successful for them.
All right, so a gain of 6, 2nd down and 4. BC banging on the door yet again. And here's Richard. He is spun down very close to a first down. Of course, BC went down the field, scored a touchdown to begin this half, went down the field again, got within field goal range and missed. First missed kick all year long by Luca Lombardo. And now after getting the ball back, BC in the red zone, and good to see that Bond is back on the field for the Eagles. That's good. It's his last game. I think he was able to get that first down. What do you think? Very close.
Looks like a good spot right there for Boston College.
Yep.
Going back to your Coach of the Year deal, you know we communicate with Wes while he's on the sideline. He made a good point. He said that head-to-head, does head-to-head matter to you? The head-to-head match with Wake Forest UVA.
If you're flipping a coin between the two, probably would, and Dickard won that game.
Appreciate you, Wes.
Yeah, man, I just had to bring that into the conversation because head-to-head certainly matters to me, especially when you talk criteria to try to split hairs, so to speak.
Yep. Towards the corner, what a throw and what a catch by Jeremiah Franklin, the tight end. That was a beautifully thrown ball by Grayson James.
Yeah, Grayson is just very comfortable right now. This offensive line has been protecting like crazy in this quarter, and that's the old railroad route. You find the tight end running a wheel route to the sideline.
And for the second time, Turbo Richard finds the end zone. There is a penalty flag down. Thought it might have been a face mask against the defense as he was going through.
Illegal motion.
Nope.
Offense number 4, 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Huh. That's against Reed Harris.
It was almost as if Reed wasn't ready before the play started.
Grayson James began his career at Florida International University, played in 6 games as a sophomore, was a starter his second year. Conference USA honorable mention. Came in last year and lost out to Tommy Castellanos before taking over as a starter. This time it'll be Jordan McDonald, and he's down close to the 1-yard line. And James on in relief today of Dylan Lonergan, who was injured. An injury to a finger. We think it's his thumb on his throwing right hand.
Well, that speaks volumes again with Grayson James. Last year, right, you're in a battle. Tommy is the guy coming in, Tommy Castellanos. You end up getting the job due to getting benched and leaving. And then you're coming to this season competition, right? You get, quarterback sign, Shaker Reisig, and you bring in Lonergan, another competition, which he loses that battle, but never complains. And just when his name is called, he comes in and delivers for this team.
And able to muscle his way into the end zone is Jordan McDonald, and that is a 2-score lead now for the Eagles. Tell you what, James has been very, very impressive here today. Not a surprise, as you just mentioned. And trying to give their fans something to end the season on a high note.
Yeah, this is Jordan McDonald right here. Just downhill. No moves, no cuts. I'm running through everybody to get this touchdown.
Point after is good. So now Syracuse has a lot of, we wondered today, looking at the quarterback situation for Syracuse, whether we would see Collins. He's gotten the second most amount of playing time. 7 games, 5 starts. He's thrown 6 touchdowns, but 10 interceptions. And then, we thought maybe, and we still might, see the college debut of Rich Bellin, highly touted freshman who has not seen action, been battled through some bumps and bruises throughout the entire year. But for right now, it is still Joe Filardi in at quarterback, and you're down 14 with roughly 16 minutes left in this game.
Yeah, how can we generate big plays? Time is ticking. It's almost the 4th quarter. We got to find ways to get chunk plays down the field.
Try the reverse and have a receiver throw the football, and he missed it. Oh boy. And he had time just to take his time, did Jonte Cook. Oh boy, that should have been a home run ball right there.
And right there, you found the play for that to happen. You get everybody to bite and wide open up the sideline. That's the one they needed.
I mean, Darian Williams, who grew up right here in Syracuse, went to Christian Brothers High School. That had touchdown written all over it. Filardi going to throw. This is a nice route right here. That's a really nice design play right there. Nixon.
These are the type of plays you want to have. More misdirections, a couple guys leaking out, reverse passes. Like, this is it. Like, let's go win the game. No need to sit here and just keep it simple. Attack down the field. Whatever you got to do.
Looks like that might be and will be the final play of the 3rd quarter. 3rd quarter thoroughly dominated. 188 yards of offense for the BC Eagles to turn what was a 6-6. Just the 3rd quarter numbers. Take a look at that.
11 yards per play. A lot of that due to Lewis Bond being wide open.
And you come out of a timeout.
False start. Offense. Number 75, 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
And you jump too early. Let's go back to those numbers again.
To get these big plays through the air.
Filardi rolling, looking down the field, and a little bit too low as he tried to hit Cook. So now it'll be 3rd down and 14.
Yeah, they try to flood concept right there. You have a player run to the flat, another one run the 2nd level, and someone deep on the corner, and tried the deep level there, and Boston College was all over it.
Well, it's still Joe Filardi at quarterback. 8 of 12 for 48 yards. He had 83 yards passing in a loss against Notre Dame. Able to avoid the sack and then caught from behind. It is a sack. Omar Thornton able to track him down. And again, Syracuse will punt every possession of this half.
I mean, Omar Thornton was a maniac on that drive. He came down, blew up the running back, and then came back and got the sack. The crazy thing is, he's lining up, letting you know he is blitzing, and they can't do anything about it.
Fair catch right at the 29-yard line. 20-6, BC with Your teammate, Matt Ryan, the great Doug Flutie.
Yeah, Matt Ryan was just unbelievable. I knew the day he stepped on campus, this guy was going to be a first-round pick. He just led differently. He did not care what anyone thought. We had tough coaches in Tom O'Brien and Dana Bible, and he challenged them as well. And he, as a young quarterback, he wasn't afraid to challenge the seniors as well. And I just knew, like, okay, this guy is the real deal.
And what a career, of course, in the NFL with the Atlanta Falcons. And off to the races down the sideline is Turbo Richard, and that is a touchdown. Boston College has just exploded here in the second half. They get 14 points, nearly 200 yards of offense in the third quarter. And on its first possession here in the fourth, a long pass play to the tight end Franklin, and now a touchdown run for Turbo.
Yeah, he got through there and hit the Turbo Jets and got to the end zone.
45-yard touchdown scamper. So you've had Lewis Bond with 168 receiving yards and Richard 102.
The touchdown, correct?
That is correct.
So right now we're looking at these views here, and then we're at the 15-yard line. We have 1 foot that we are trying to be able to look at to identify whether it's in or out. We're going to look to see if we have any looks to be able to identify that, and if the program has anything that can be able to assist us.
Mark, the truck doesn't have anything coming in at all.
Okay, very good.
So 50-yard line is no help.
So let's show the 50-yard line, and based off of this look, if this is our best look, which we're going to continue to go through, the ruling on the field will be upheld, and you'll see another look here.
This is the only other look that appears to have the foot inbounds at the 15. So there's nothing that we have that shows he was definitely out.
So the ruling on the field is upheld.
I would agree.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
Upheld. Thank you.
After review, the ruling of a touchdown is upheld.
So not enough evidence there to overturn the call on the field, so it is a touchdown.
Yeah, some great toe tap work by Turbo right there. That's the one thing about watching this Boston College team. Despite being 1-10, they have been battling, and they've been in some competitive games. And Wes, talk about like how feisty they've been all season.
Yeah, Coach O'Brien, he talked about what he loves about his team is that they never checked out. They show up to practice on time for everything, and they give everything they have. And he said if anything that he doesn't like, inconsistency on offense, giving up explosive, which they've done a great job of keeping both of those to a minimum today.
All right, we've talked to
SMU has been on fire. He's had 3 consecutive 300-yard games, and he's top 15 in several major passing categories. So I got to go with Kevin Jennings, man. He's finished stronger. Georgia Tech has just faltered down the stretch.
Georgia Tech losing yesterday to rival Georgia, obviously a non-conference game. And Georgia Tech's fate certainly rest on what happens later on tonight, a pair of night games where both Virginia and SMU, Virginia plays Virginia Tech, SMU plays at Cal. And a win for each of those teams, SMU and Virginia, they will play in the ACC title game in Charlotte next weekend.
But yeah, to my point, you could say the same about Kevin Jennings. Without him, you know, with that offense, be where they are.
And look, the Mensa kids had a great year.
Yes.
I mean, they've had a really, really nice year. And they're the ones that will try and stand tall later tonight in their season finale.
Wes, is there a name that wasn't on that list that you would give consideration to?
Man, it's hard because the ACC doesn't have a very skillful, or as far as just gaudy numbers on any types of skill guys or defensive players, because Lewis Bond would certainly be in the mix, but Boston College has struggled. So that was the hard part about figuring out this list. I mean, maybe Carson Beck, but even he, to me, hasn't been consistent enough to be in this group.
Well, I think Beck is the name that is a guy, the way they started the season, you would have thought that he would have been at least on that list, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he looked like he was going to be a guy that would maybe get a trip to New York, and then they hit a tough stretch where he wasn't playing well, and now he's picked it back up as of late. But he's got some tough losses and some bad performances by him on his resume, too.
Tell you what, it's going to be really fascinating. Some decisions that the College Football Committee is going to have to make. That one down the sideline and overthrown. That was a nicely thrown ball right there by Filardi. Just overshot Gill by a couple of yards, but he turned that thing loose. First time he's done it all day today.
I don't know, Tom. It looked like he hit him right in the hands, like right in stride, and it bounced off his hands. Just more and more stuff going on for Syracuse. I mean, if you look right here, I mean, that's. I ain't saying it. I made that catch.
Oh, really?
You can pull it up. I made that catch.
Pull it up.
Look.
Like Kurt Signetti, just Google me, right? I just win.
No, I don't know if that's on Google, but you can pull it up somewhere.
And a fair catch at the 32-yard line. We'll take a timeout. BC rolling.
The burst of speed. We talked about him hitting the home run, and that's exactly what he did. Give you 100 yards, 6.8, and 2 TDs. Today's Player of the Game is sponsored by Progressive. Get coverage you can count on with home and auto at progressive.com.
Well, BC still throwing the football. You'd think they'd want to burn some time here. Although, you know, the way the Syracuse offense and the lack of throwing the ball today, it's hard to imagine, even with 12.5 minutes, which is a lot of time, that they would be able to sling it around enough. Syracuse has 48 passing yards in this game.
Yeah, BC could be trying to get Lewis Bond 1,000 yards for the season. They're throwing it. I can see that happening.
What's his last game? He's the all-time career receptions leader. He set a single season record this year. 7 more today. You could have made a strong argument for him to be our player of the game. He has 168 receiving yards in his game, but he's not scored the touchdowns where Richard has 2 of them.
I think that's what made the difference. Yeah, but Lewis, yeah, he's the one that made the big plays that would set up these runs on offense.
So a 3rd down and 5. That's Bond in motion. They're going to throw it. And it's going to depend on the spot here. The catch is made by McDonald. I mean, it's right there. And it is enough for a 1st down. So the clock will continue to run. 11:30 to go. You know, it's interesting when you figure most of the time, and we've done this long enough, where you go in to talk to coaches. One whose team has lost 7 in a row. The other whose team has lost 10 in a row. You know, you would think that they'd be really down and out. That was not the case.
To see if the line
as this one is under review. So again, we'll listen in from the command center in Charlotte.
Show the referee when he comes over, John, that catch. And then we're going to be able to go and look to see where the player is when he catches the ball.
Hey guys, I'm at the monitor. We had a completed catch for a 1st down.
All right, John, here we go. So the ump cam is going to show that we have the completed catch. And we're going to put that side by side with our all 22. The line to gain was the 42.
42.
And that's not the best look. We actually
so what we're going to do is we're going to show you here. We're going to show the ump cam is going to show us that we have a clear catch, which you're going to see right here. You're going to see it. I'm going to slow it down for you. You're going to see the ball coming in. He clearly has control of the ball throughout the entire process. Now we're going to show you the 50-yard line camera. So right here, we're not down the line, and based off of this, the ruling on the field is a 1st down, and I don't have any other angle to be able to show anything short. So based off of this, the ruling on the field is upheld. Is everybody in agreement?
I agree.
Okay. All right, perfect, everybody. Ruling on the field is upheld.
Thanks, guys. Great job. Thanks.
That is really cool to listen to. Really cool stuff.
After review, the ruling on the field is upheld.
And again, we thank Al Riveron and his entire crew back in Charlotte for allowing us to do that today and bring it home to you.
But going back to what you said about meeting with the coaches, I personally thought those were two of the best meetings we had all year.
Yep.
They were just extremely positive in terms of just how their team just fought, because that's all you can ask for when you deal with a team like that. Like, how can I not lose my team culturally? And they feel they've done a great job doing that. And then also their outlook on the future. They feel very, very good about knowing what they need to do. It's a clearer picture on what they need to do.
Looking for and just overshooting. Reed Harris is Grayson James.
That's another one I feel like.
That had a weird look to it, didn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, this is a tough over-the-shoulder catch, no problem. And in a dome, you could easily lose it in the lights. I remember playing, you know, Saint Superdome, playing in Dallas. Even here, sometimes you can lose from the lights, but that's a catch I think Reed can make.
Jordan McDonald checks into the backfield. They're going to throw it again into the hands of Bond. And he steps out of bounds after crossing the 45. In fact, that's where they'll mark it. That is his 8th catch of the game. For 171 yards. He needs to get to 180 yards. And that's the first time we've called the name Kayla Chajinski today. He's inside the 20 and still on his feet. Tackled at the 18-yard line. Well, what a big future he has. Of course, his dad is the offensive analyst for BC.
Yeah, two-sport athlete, football and hockey. He was recruited in hockey out of high school and came here to Boston College.
And another touchdown on the ground, this one by Jordan McDonald. That is his 2nd rushing touchdown. Richard has 2 rushing touchdowns. And I mean, this is a breakout game for the Boston College Eagles. They average 25 per game. And they're 8 better than that right now.
Yeah, rarely you see a goal line touchdown where he's untouched.
So you have Richard, 102 rushing yards and a couple of touchdowns. McDonald now a couple of touchdowns. That one from 14 yards out. And look at the kind of score he's staring at right now. They have not won since their season opener back at the end of August. Now, there have been some tight ones along the way, including their most recent game, that 2-point loss to Georgia Tech.
Correct. Yeah, they were in a lot of games where you can argue they could have been a 10-win team last year with a couple of close losses. Lost a lot of seniors. Obviously, Tommy Castellanos hitting the portal and then trying to figure out what we can do this year. So, yeah, a season full of adversity. But they came in here ready to compete. Conference game, rival.
You know, this Wednesday is the national signing date for high school players. And we were talking about the optimism shared by both coaches in our meetings with them this week. In this case, Fran Brown. They have a top 25 ranked high school recruiting class coming in here to Syracuse next year. They've done a nice job when they've needed to in the portal. You know, they got Kyle McCord last year, and this year they look like they hit a home run when they brought in the Notre Dame transfer and Steve Angeli. He starts him out 3-1 on the year before tearing his Achilles tendon in a win at Clemson. And they've not won a game since he got hurt. Velarde going to run it. And able to pick up a first down up to the 40-yard line. Of course, he'll be back for another year.
Yeah, I mean, they did hit a home run in terms of finding Steve Angeli, but the best teams that I've been around on any level is they're able to properly evaluate and develop the bottom of the depth chart, right?
Yep.
The backups, like the guys who can come in and not just fill a void, but continue to make plays for them. And I think Coach Fran Brown was transparent, as in like, hey, we need to make sure we continue to develop our guys and find guys who we bring in that can help in case we face any kind of adversity.
And Velarde's still out there competing.
Yeah, he has two of the biggest plays so far for Syracuse. That is a tough thing for a coordinator. You've done such a great job with your defense not really allowing many yards rushing, and then you give up these two long runs to a quarterback. And then, especially for teams like these two, when you are dealing with what's happening, all this adversity, you evaluate everything, right? You evaluate not just the players, you continue to evaluate the staff. Especially when you have a huge drop-off like both of these teams did. Continue to find ways to improve, get better.
Six minutes to go here at the Dome. Syracuse trying to get into the end zone for the first time today. This was a 6-6 game at halftime. Slant. And the tackle inside the 10. It'll be first down and goal. Jonte Cook on the reception. Transfer from Texas.
Yeah, just a nice job right there. Finding the one-on-one matchup.
.5:27 left. You know, you brought up earlier that maybe one of the reasons Boston College with this big lead was still throwing the ball was to try and get Bond to 1,000 yards this season. He is 7 yards away from getting to 1,000. That one down to the 5. He's sitting at 993 receiving yards.
Yeah, as I say that, they throw a bomb to Reed Harris.
Right. But now, let me ask you, you've been on the sideline as a coach before. Is that the kind of thing somebody would go tell Bill O'Brien?
Absolutely. Yeah, you have people on staff, or whatever, statisticians, whoever, and you have someone that keeps records of accolades or any kind of awards and stuff like that. And so that is an important thing, no question about it.
Nixon on the carry, and we're going to spot this right at the, looks like the 3-yard line, just inside the 3. Third down and goal.
Especially someone like Lewis Bond, who has been the one constant for you. You know, all those receptions, just a hard worker, being available.
Velarde trying to get into the end zone. What a tackle. I think that was Omar Thornton again, who came up and was able to get down low. You brought that up earlier in the game.
That's exactly who it was. It was Omar Thornton. That's the one thing with him that stands out. Once he hits you, you're going down. There's no question about it.
So fourth down and goal, and clearly Syracuse going to go for it with 3:35 left.
Fourth down.
They're going to get Villari to take the snap. He'll have a choice to hand it off or to run it himself. He'll take it himself. And he will get into the end zone, a touchdown. You know, that's a good thing. His final game and all that he has meant to this program. Congratulations, Dan Villari. He has had just an excellent, outstanding career at Syracuse. 4th all-time for receptions by a tight end. Transferred in. A former high school quarterback.
Yeah, and this is great for him. This is also great tape. Just continue to show his versatility. Obviously, we mentioned Michigan and former quarterback, him playing wildcat and rushing the ball and good receiver. He'll be able to get into a camp and find a spot, possibly even get drafted.
Yep. So they're going to go ahead and attempt the 2-point try here. Going to throw it. And incomplete. With an eye on Villari. But they'll look forward to having him under center next year. They'll try the onside kick, and that one covered up by the Eagles. So let's see if indeed, I mean, look, you know, Bill O'Brien doesn't want to, and to my knowledge never has, run up the score on anybody. But let's see if maybe he has a play or two designed for Lewis Bond here, who is sitting 7 yards shy of 1,000 receiving yards this season. He's not in the game, so there's the answer to that question. Well, nonetheless, he has had just a marvelous career, capped off by an outstanding senior season. And he ought to feel mighty proud to have put on that uniform like you did, Will Blackman, year after year after year.
Yeah, he's just been absolutely unbelievable. From Chicago.
Yep.
Came to BC and just a true professional in the way he worked. Even came into this season, you know, he felt like he wanted to get more lean. He wanted to get his speed up. Also being more decisive in terms of after the catch. He used to go east and west a lot, making a lot of moves, and then started going north and south to be more productive. And even in a season of adversity, he's been the bright spot. And to have your number 2 quarterback ready to go, Grayson James comes in and leads the way. Lewis Bond over 170 yards receiving. Yep. Turbo Richard with 2 touchdowns. Brought to you by the Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card. Be a 2%er. Earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases. Terms apply.
Well, they've had a 170-yard receiver. They've had a 100-plus yard rusher. They've had 2 running backs in the game score a pair of rushing touchdowns, and those are mighty good numbers for Grayson James, who, remember, came in after the first possession of the game. The injury to the starter looked like a finger injury. Dylan Lonergan. So the clock continuing to run. It'll bring up a 4th down and 2.
Yeah, they were very fortunate to have Grayson James. If Lonergan couldn't go in, you know, you look at the other side, you don't really have a number 2 quarterback. And Grayson, you know, what starts under his belt.
Boston College called timeout. It's their 2nd of the half. It's 30 seconds.
Fire crew, but you 2 guys, your first full-time regular gig at this, actually doing games. Both of you have worked in, you know, media in different places. Wes with his radio show daily, as that is a stop on 4th down. And you and the stuff you've done with the NFL Network and so forth, and done games as well. But you guys are real credit how hard, and it's a pleasure and an honor to work with guys that care like you guys care.
Yeah, and it's been cool, and awesome to work with Wes. You know, just being ultimate teammates, man. So it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, man, I've enjoyed it as well, working with a legend like Tom and working with Will, man. We've come together. We've got the chemistry going. But, yeah, I've been very grateful to work with such a wonderful crew in the truck and everybody involved, and you guys as well, man. So I think I might shed a tear.
You know, you know, when you do this, you travel with people going all the way back to August every single weekend. And sometimes when you hear stuff like this on television, you think it's trite, whatever. Believe me, when you're gone from your families, and that's everybody on our crew, every single weekend for 14, 15 weekends in a row, it can get a little lonely out there on the road. That's for sure, even when you have your friends. But this has been a fantastic crew. It's been an honor and a privilege. Skip McMillan every single day up here spotting for us up in the booth. And our entire crew. Michelle Gleason, Scott Snyder, Lonnie Dale, our director. Lonnie just keeps on going. He was around when they were doing cave drawings instead of telecast.
Etch-a-sketch, is that what they would do back
then? 15-yard penalty.
We love
automatic
Lonnie.
First down.
I mean, Lonnie, he just flew in from doing the NBA.
Listen, Lonnie came down to the lobby with a Gucci scarf on. I already knew. Wes, I'm telling you, Armani Lonnie with the Gucci scarf.
Yeah, most of us are walking around in jeans or, I don't know, you're quite the fashion plate.
That's Wes comes to games with 2 pairs of shoes.
Yeah, he does.
Okay, Wes wears one when he's walking around, and he has one for the field.
Yeah, he's a big league operator.
Hey, man, I try my best, but, yeah, I'm with you. I did see Lonnie with that scarf on today, and I said, yeah, man, it is showtime today, let me tell you.
We wish everybody an early Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. We will have our next telecast, the Snoop Dogg Bowl. You guys are in for a treat, I got to tell you. Last year, of course, he bought the naming rights to the bowl. He was always involved in it in years prior. The name came up to sponsor the bowl, and he paid for it. And you don't know what to think, what kind of guy he's going to be. The perception oftentimes is not always the reality, right? And I tell you, this guy, he could not have been cooler. Now, I don't mean us up on television here, because he was really cool. I mean, I'm talking about our producer and I, Scott Snyder, were on the field 4 hours before the game. People who are cleaning the stadium, people who are in the marching band, people who you know, we're getting there early to do concession work. And every single person that wanted a picture with Snoop Dogg or to sign an autograph, he was there to do it. Incomplete on the throw to the end zone. 44 seconds remain. So that'll be our next game. And last year, you know, we get a team out of the Mountain West. I've seen in some places speculation that our game could be Boise State against Ohio University, the runner-up in the MAC. Let's hope that's the case.
The old alumni over here.
The old alumni, that's right. And that one dropped. It'll bring up 4th down. Had Miami of Ohio winning that game last year over Colorado State.
Colorado State getting a new coach.
Yeah, saw where the Vanderbilt coach re-upped, right? And so did Drinkwitz at Missouri. And you have some huge jobs that are still open.
A lot of jobs that are open
you
right
know,
now.
Many felt that the Lane Kiffin decision would come tonight. But apparently, you know, if Georgia or Alabama were to lose their game tonight, then all of a sudden Lane Kiffin's team could be playing in the SEC championship game next week. So he planned on coming into the office today to start getting ready for Georgia. And that's going to do it. As they turn it over on downs.
Oh. That looks like it.
I'm not sure what the holdup here is about getting. Yeah, I just don't understand what is taking people. Everybody getting lined up here for what will be the final snap. And congratulations. Really appreciate both of these head coaches and gracious with their time during Thanksgiving week. And Fran Brown, better days are ahead. He was a 10-game winner a season ago. And for Bill O'Brien, they got to a bowl game last year. And brighter days ahead from them. The 10-game losing streak is over for the Boston Eagles.
Now it'll be great to see like what they do now, right? Both coaches are ready to get to work. You know, I can imagine both of them attacking the portal aggressively to try to really rework this team. Boston College is still going to be, you know, using high school recruits as their deal in the pipeline and the foundation of their program. But you do have to tap in. A lot of programs we spoke to all year long was like, okay, we have to do this now. This is the landscape.